It looks really good down in there. So here's what we use. I'm gonna show you. We use two things. We use this and we use this. And I'm gonna show you. Watch this. Come on over here. I'm gonna start, Tommy, my bad. If you wanna go in the back here. And you ain't gotta rush, you know. Look, check it out. Okay, we're at 74.6 degrees. Look, show them this right here on that container. Where was that at right there? Oh, we just reading that. If pouring a thin mill surface, such as a tumbler, let products sit in the container 10 to 15 minutes or until it reached 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Failure to do so may result in fish eyes and other issues. So, here's the thing. A tumbler matters because it is a very thin layer. Our thin layer on here doesn't matter because we're going over it with a flood coat. But you see what I'm saying? My point is, at 74.9 degrees, 75.1, there you go. We still have another 25 or so degrees to go before we would be in jeopardy in any way, shape, or form. So we're gonna go ahead. I like to do, what I do is I like to pour it out in little streams, kind of get everything to have a little something. I take the Bondo squeegee, kind of move everything around very thin. You're gonna see me a lot in this video, digging and every which way, because we're trying to get everything to cover every direction. Lastly, we're gonna do the edges. And a lot of people ask us all the time, how do you get those edges so crystal smooth? Well, Tom, come over here and show them the edges right now, just painted. Okay, it all starts with shaping those, using a 3/4 router bit, going over and under. The paint is very, very thin when we apply it on here. You see all this right here? That's because when I dipped my roller in the paint, I rolled that and got that off on this scrap of wood so that I had a little bit left, but my roller was still intact and still, you know, completely level across. Then I lightly start right in the middle of that and then work up that edge and work below that edge and so on. So all that's part of it too. And then what we're gonna show you here with our gloves, that's why I do the surface first. I'll leave some of this epoxy up here, kind of in bulk, make sure everything's covered real good on the surface. Then I'll switch right over to the edges. So watch, here we go. Now, I always like to leave a little bit. Always. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna angle this away from the edge. I don't want nothing to go over the edge yet. I'm gonna get right up to the edges and keep it from going over. I'm kind of steamrolling that and turning short. Then I'm gonna sit here and start working these. See how I'm drawing those lines there, keeping all that together. Now it makes it simple. Now look at the extra, okay? We knew we were gonna have extra. So what I'm gonna do with the extra is fan that out right there. A little bit thinner. Like that, and I'm going to leave it sit. reason I don't want it going over my edge yet, especially on the front, is because it's going to start making little lines, little impressions. I don't care if it falls over here, it's falling over back here, and it's falling over a little bit in the back. That's not my front edge. That's why I have not touched that front edge yet. So 20 ounces is what we mixed up. It's more than enough for your project, this size. But any smaller, we don't want to mess around with the ratio and have the ratio be off. When you get into very small amounts, you have to be so accurate with that, or it will not harden correctly. I'm gonna get some of this up here, bring it over, and I'm gonna run it right there, and I'm gonna let that fall down, kind of like you would do a flood coat. Because now I have resin on that corner to actually work with. The hardest thing on a large project is keeping your clothing out of the way. Look at that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and slick that. There we go. Get that nice and ooey gooey. We'll get the bulk of that off here shortly. Bigger project's going to take you a little bit longer. Now what I'm going to do is grab some of this extra right here that I got, and I'm going to bring it with me and let it go over the back and the sink area here. There we go. Just like that. Come on out here, Tom. You're letting that roll over. I'm going to deal with it here in just a second. Now, set this down a minute. Y'all hear my son in there. He's in the other room with his friends. So, as you can see, The whole purpose here is to get this nice and slicked up. Just like so. Slickness in there. Take some of this edge right here, see it, I can feel it. That's a good thing about using your hands. It doesn't matter. You can see when we're done, you never, don't judge a seal coat because you see something, you see a couple lines that you're gonna see that in seal coat. Seal coat is paper thin. When I do my hands like this, all these little marks you can see with my gloves and stuff, none of that matters. What matters is the massaging back and forth, every direction, that sort of thing, so that you make sure that everything's covered. Let me give you an example. That's a bald spot. Watch. Now, that you can see, can you see that in the camera? Okay, so you can see that. That looks totally different than that. That's what I'm saying. So your objective here, your goal here, is to not worry at all about some line on top here. Don't worry about that at all. We'll take the Bondo squeegee back over that, kind of thin all that out. Your goal here is to get this as thin as possible and as slick as possible. Back and shape for the contour. And look, I'm gonna slick that up right there. Make sure that's good. Come out here, Tom. Come over here. Follow me here. I'm gonna grab that center, boom, pull out. Then I'm gonna grab this one and pull out. And then I'm gonna keep this one going. Just like that. Very little came off. Very little come off. This is how we keep those edges slick. Slicked up. And that's it, y'all. That is our seal coat. So, we hope all this information truly helps you all at home in your journey, in your projects. Me and Tom are two simple guys. We've been doing this stuff a long time. Bathrooms and kitchens. We've been doing epoxy over 10 years. And, you know, for a couple of guys in Kentucky, we love a challenge. We love going outside, testing the boundaries of everything. We love doing something we've never done. And believe it or not, we love when other people succeed. So we're no different than anybody else out here. We got a lot of years of knowledge in this that we just like to share with other people so they can win. There is no competition in this world, I'm telling you. When you're good at what you do, you're always gonna eat, you're always gonna have work. And if you never stop striving and you never stop reaching for your goals and going outside of your comfort zone, you're always going to excel. And that's the most important part about anything with learning. So until the next one, you guys, be sure and tune back in for the flood coat. See y'all back real soon.